Today we're gonna be checking out a fragrance, a newer release by the House of Amouage. I am a fan of the House of Amouage. These motherfuckers know how to do performance, power, and strong Middle Eastern scents. Now this one is part of a particular collection. I don't know the name of the collection, I completely forgot, but I got this sample from Neiman Marcus. I'm gonna check it out together. Let's roll my motherfucking music so we can check a little bit of Amouage Rose Incense.
Sexy motherfucker. We're all alone. Out of all your friends, I wanna be
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy, C to the U to the B to the A. So here's the sample of the Opus 12 Rose Incense, which I generally call Essence for some apparent reason. Now, all the bottles, just aesthetically, look fly. I love the presentation of this line. I don't remember what the line's name was called. I don't know, I don't think it's the Opus line. I think there's something else. But what confused me about this joint, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you guys are the experts, not me. I thought there was already a Rose Incense that they dropped, although I could be mistaken. But nevertheless, they threw this in as a little sample for me to try, and I don't remember smelling it at the store. I smelled a couple of the other ones, and there's one in particular that, ooh-wee, but we'll talk about that another time. So let me spray this joint on the test strip right now and see what kind of vibe that we're gonna get. Now, I don't know the notes in this fragrance. We will look them up together, but let me see what I'm feeling from this joint right here. Okay, you definitely get a smack of rose bushes. So it has a little bit of MFK's oud satin mood, at least that's what pops into my head immediately, but it's also like rose oud combination. So you know, that rose is very prominent and very distinctive, so it's easily to get those two confused. But you do get that incensey vibe. It's very smoky and very photorealistic, actually. That rose is kind of like enveloped in that incensey type smoke. I don't know if there's multiple wood components here, because that incensey smoke sometimes can give a smoky, woody essence, but there's some other wood here, or it could be the incense, I don't know. Now, if there is oud in here, and that's the other wood, sorry, I got something in my eye, it's not that powerful or animalic. It's not overbearing is the better word. It's not just like taking over the entire fragrance. The rose is definitely the star. There's something there like a little black pepperish that's kind of giving my nose like a little flick. Not too spicy, but there's a little spice factor in there. Maybe not pepper, like the spice factor that you would get from like wasabi or ginger or something like a little something, a little flick in there. It's a very pretty fragrance for somebody who likes rose fragrances. It's not on the geriatric space, it's more on the rosy artistic space, with that incensey really playing a nice part, kind of going hand in hand with that rose. Let's look up the notes. So it's listed up top as olabdanum ink. Now that you say it, I totally get the ink factor. Very much so, actually. Elemi, damask rose, olabdanum again in the mid and top, myrrh, vanilla, cedar, and sandalwood. So there's multiple woods in here. No oud. The ink. There's no incense note listed, but that ink is super present. It's like a rose dipped in like ink, like a little felt tip pen. But there's a smokiness here. Maybe it's coming from the myrrh and cedar. This is very pretty. Actually, very nice. Surprised. I thought it was gonna be kind of a more boring, rosy fragrance. It's not that. It's actually quite lovely. I can see this being kind of like not a competitor, kind of topping off MK's Oud Satin Mood, to be honest with you. Oud Satin Mood is delicious. I mean, it's amazing, especially when it's brick outside. But this joint is kind of leaving a crazy impression, to be honest with you. And that's on a test strip. Let me try a little bit on skin, just to taste, see what we're working with here. It's actually pretty nice. For a rose fragrance, you really gotta enjoy rose though. If you're not rocking with rose, or you're trying to be on some entry-level rose shit, this is not for you. Don't even think about it. Just take it out of your mind completely. This ain't your vibe. Oh, way better on skin. Not as abrasive, not as brash, not harsh. It's a very mellowish kind of rose with, you get a lot of incensey, but now that you said ink, or now that I spoke ink into existence, I can't get ink out of my head. you know what? It's very chill. It's like a chill. It's got a lot of sillage. Like in here, I get a lot of the sillage vibe, but it's a very chill type rose. Like very wearable. Okay. Listen, I'm liking how this is doing on my skin. A very, very wearable rose. Excuse me. That's pretty fucking fun. Wow, it's so much better on skin, and the dry down on this on the skin is really, really enjoyable. Wow. Yeah, my tits look good in this sweater. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna actually put it in a category in itself. On a scale of 1 to 10 in rose fragrances, I'm gonna give this like a 7.2 in rose fragrances. Because if I do it in the mass appeal scale, it's not gonna rate high, because these aren't mass appeal type fragrances. This is more like on the artsy side. It's not really like, yeah, this is gonna get me pussy. No, but it works beautifully off of my skin. So on a rose scale, 7.2. Is it a ball sprayer? On a rose scale, yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it's kind of like Oud Satin Mood. This joint is kind of like ball sprayer it is. Kind of just gonna dip my nuts in it like the ink. This is pretty fucking nice actually. But there's another fragrance in that lineup. Bruh. Wait till I get my paws on that. Can't wait to do a video on that shit. I love y'all motherfuckers from the heart. Let me know if you smell any fragrances from this line and which one you think, but think about it, is the one that's blowing my balls off from that lineup. I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know it is biggest in the game. Smooches.
Cubaknow, 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 Cubaknow. What's fresh? Who's best? Wanna know who's gonna pass the test? Cubaknow.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, Motorola start tack when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense, you never get in. It's nonsense,